Do you have a favorite piece of jewelry that inspires you? A piece of jewelry that you not only wear a great deal, but that you find you turn to for ideas. I have one. I have a lot of them actually, I won't lie. But one right now that's figuring strong in my inspiration line is this piece from 1928 Jewelry Company. And as you know, I've become quite a collector. And I have beaucoup of this stuff. I have, I guess by now, all the important pieces and a lot of old ones that you'll never find anywhere. And I'm fortunate that way. But this one, you can still purchase at 1928.com. It's part of Antiquities Couture. It has the spinner assembly that we like so much, and I carry. It has the hand with the ring that we love, and I carry. And then it has some forms of chain that I have had as manufacturer's overruns, but I don't carry because I can't, at least not at this time. But even the way the chain is put together is inspiring to me. So what I've done is I have made some pieces of jewelry this morning that bounce from this design. So we'll talk about good design, how you can break something down to make it a little bit less expensive, how you can make it simpler, how you can make it more ornate or elaborate, however. But come on over here, let me show you what I have done, given the inspiration I have from this wonderful piece that Mr. Burney has in his line at 1928. Mention this wonderful piece that has inspired so many pieces that I've made ever since I got it a few years ago. It's got these fantastic glass beads going up the sides. Very, very unusual. I've had this chain before in silver, but I don't know, it wasn't quite as nice as this one. This is really good chain. And then it's got another little link of chain here to make the bail. Isn't that clever? You could do that with some of your own work. If you need a bail, sometimes you'll find a link from another piece of chain that'll work as a bail. And that'll save you some money too. Well, I'm going to take and I'm going to go ahead and put this back on so I don't lose it, because it is a very special piece to me. And now I'll show you some things that I made sort of kind of in imitation of it. Especially, say, if you don't like gold or you'd like to have the piece, you know what, I can get it up and on. You just like to have the piece, but you really can't afford to spend the money. Here are some solutions for you. This is the gingerbread from Bissou by 1928. This is the old silver, Bissou by 1928. Again, old silver, Bissou by 1928. Again, old silver by Bissou by 1928. These are all versions of the gold piece. I costed it out, and if you made it exactly, or as exactly as you could, given the chain, you know, you might have a little trouble getting an exact chain match. It would cost you to make that at home $35 to $38 in gold. We don't even have the gold pieces, but I'm kind of figuring upcharge for the gold plating because their gold plating is a very expensive gold plating. So you'd have that much into it. But like I say, you know, maybe you can't spend that much. So what could you do? Well, what could you do to make it a little bit less? Well, you could do the spinner assembly. Then here's the hand. I've used some lesser expensive chain that I had laying around. Of course, I don't know that this would be that much less expensive because you have the two hands. I use the two hands in the back to connect the back. I'm going to replace this clasp in a little bit. It's all I had up on my workspace. I don't like the match on that. But everything else is a pretty good match. And I like how this one goes. It's got the clear lenses, so you would save some money there because these are way less expensive than glass cameos. And I just put some stray beads inside that. And of course, you know, if you use the Bissou 1928 coupon code, how do you put that code on for them? You save 25% off the cost of the pieces in this line when you buy it. So it makes it very, very affordable for high-end pieces. But anyway, you could do the lenses and you could do the stuff inside. And then I took a little piece of chain and I caught it through the bail and pulled it up through. So you'd still have a little money into this one. But it's an unusual piece. It hangs very long, and I believe you could get some good money for it too. I see what some are able to get for their pieces made with line. You know what? This took me maybe a half an hour to make, maybe, because I had to glue these lenses in and put the stones inside. That's it. I mean, maybe. So you're not going to have a lot of labor in it, so that helps you out too. But it's an inspiration. You know, if you just like this style, then it's a great idea. Then there's this one. This one's pretty close to the original. It's got this silver and pearl chain. We have this chain on the site. In fact, Hubby put it on this morning. We have it in 30-inch lengths. That's how it came, 30-inch lengths. But it's got the bail, it's got the hand, and then it's got the spinner. And once again, I saved some money because I used resin cameos and this porcelain decal cameo. These are all 18 by 13, and they're not expensive. So that's one way that you can trim price down on it too, and still have something that's really, really nice, really elegant. People like this stuff. They love anything that moves. Have you found that out to be true? Anything that you might make in jewelry that moves? People are drawn to that. It's probably why I like the original piece so much. This piece, I've had a lot of, this piece gets a lot of attention. That's what I want to say in a nutshell. It's, I've worn it, I wore it, in fact, last time I went out to California. It's got cat's eye, white cat's eye. It's got white howlite, which I've fallen in love with. In fact, we need to order more 18 by 13s in white howlite because we've used so many of them. And then it's got one of the clear lenses. None of these stones are expensive. And inside, it's got some white cat's eye beads. So you can see them. So it's very textural. When I wore this to California 3 times on just the trip over, I was asked where I got it and where they could get one. So that shows you, you know, this is a hit, this is a good one, and all you have in this is a spinner assembly and the bail and some chain. You don't have to use this chain. You can use, you know, whatever you have. You could use some silver Figaro or some other delicate chain and just a simple jump ring for the back and simple lobster claw clasp, and you're done. And it's a kind of piece you could wear every day. And then you know how I like to layer things. So, and I really feel that if you make jewelry to sell, if you're one of those who does, you benefit a lot by having pieces in your line that can be layered. With this piece, I was wearing a parrot necklace that Mel has in his line. But today, this morning, I thought, well, instead of the big hand, why don't we use the little hand and make a more delicate necklace, smaller? So I used the small hand that you can use for a clasp connector in the back, for a connector in the front going up the side, for earrings, because we have left and right on that one too. And then I just put the little sprig, I put a little white howlite bead, and then I put the little rose. So I've got, see, it's $2.65, and this, I think, is what this cost. The bead is negligible. I think these both are like $1 or less. Somewhere in there. This might be a little more. So, and then the chain. So, you know, you could easily make this for under $15, and it took me 10 minutes. No kidding. 10 minutes was all it took to put that together. Because all it is, you know, you get the chain, cut it, put your back jump through it, put your lobster on, hook this on, just get a big jump, put that on, then just put your stuff together on. I mean, it doesn't take any time at all. And this is a great piece to layer. Great piece to layer. It looks great together. I had it on at the beginning of the video. So that's an idea too that you can do. That's something else that bounced from that. Very simple. When you get inspiration, think, what do I have that I can make something like that, but maybe I can cut the cost back a little bit, or I can streamline it a little bit, or maybe even go in and take some of your pieces you've already made that aren't selling and take a hard look at them and see, what could I take off of that? What could I put on another piece, take off of that? change things around, mix things around, and see, you know, how you could make it a little bit different and maybe a little more wearable. Could happen, okay? A few more pieces I wanted to share with you. You probably remember when I did the cerulean videos, which I'll probably do more for too long because we have some new techniques we want to share with you. But I took one of the pendants from the cerulean video. Oh, something fell. Don't know what that was. We'll worry about it later. Took one of the pendants from the cerulean video and I dressed it up, put the little hand, put the bail, and this is some chain that I had in my stash. So I don't have any of this to sell you at this time. Perhaps later I will. And then I put one on the back for a clasp. Instead of doing a jump ring thing, I put this for clasp. And once again, I don't like this lobster claw, but I was hurrying, so I will go out in a warehouse and find one that matches better and put that on. But this came out good. And it's a nice long piece. People like long pieces. So that's a good one. Here's another one I didn't finish yet, but it's from the cerulean video. And it's the monkey hanging out of the tree with the hand and the veil. Once again, going back to that hand. I love that hand. Just can't get enough of that hand. So glad we have that for the line. We have everything here. We have the veil, we have the hand, we have the oblong mount, we have the monkey, and we have the little sprigs of leaves. We have the cerulean. And we have the chatons, and we have pick-me-up tools. So everything you need to make this, and then I have to get it on some chain. I need to find something that's a better match. You know what I might do? I might take some dark chain and add some red beads going up the side. That would pull it all together. That would have been good in this one too, for a matter of fact. Maybe I'll do that. I'll split this and put a little bit of red beads going up. It won't take but a minute. I've got some red beads up there. It's just a perfect one. So I'll show you that when I get that one done sometime. And then I have one more to show you. This is the shovel. A lot of you were liking the shovel. At first, people weren't noticing it too much, and then they started to notice it a lot. We ran out of them. So we reordered them. Lauren made this for me. She made this pendant from here down. A little piece of dark old brass. She put some little stones in it. She colorized the flowers, and she set little stones in that. So I just need to finish it. So today I put it on a hand. If you don't know what to do, put it on a hand, right? Then I did a bail, and I did chain, and I put a little rose for an end finial on there, which is a nice thing to do to finish off your necklaces. So I hope maybe that gives you some ideas, and maybe you'll go to your jewelry box and you'll see what you find there that inspires you. Being honest, you know, it's always inspired me is vintage jewelry of any kind. And of course, 1928 jewelry is all reproduction style jewelry. So it's all inspired from vintage jewelry. That's what inspired the company at the very beginning to make the sort of jewelry that they made, was vintage jewelry. So these all have a vintage twist, and practically everything I make has a vintage twist because that's what inspires me. So besides my beautiful piece of jewelry here, I also find it very inspiring to go back to my vintage jewelry collecting books and see what was done there. A lot of times many of the same stampings that we use today in our work are in those books, and you'll see how they were used. And you'll get lots of ideas to kind of spring from there to make a piece your own. And you can make it vintage look, or you can do something surprising and new with it, because anything goes these days. All design is good. So I hope you enjoyed this. I'm sorry about whatever it was. I'm kind of worried about what kind of mess I'm going to find over there. Sounds like a bunch of rhinestones or something like crashing to the floor. Sorry about that. And also, having mentioned that I have a big dark spot on my hand, it's not dirt. I had to go to the hospital the other day and have an outpatient procedure. I'm fine, but they put the IV in the wrong place, so I'm bruised. I'll live. Everything's good. It's been quite a day, so thanks for bearing with me. We didn't want to wait a long time before we did another video. We wanted to get back to you and get going again, and I had thought about this a lot. In fact, one day on my Facebook page, I stepped out all the parts for this piece, and we talked about it, and we had a really good discussion. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks a lot for visiting with us today. You're important to us. Visit us at bisouboutiques.com, and you know that's the home of the good stuff. And just real quickly, too, before I forget, because I almost did, The spinner in the gingerbread is GB05247. The hand in gingerbread is GB02437. And in silver, the hand is OS2248. In silver, the spinner is OS05245. The little sprig in the silver is OS04243. I don't have the number here for it in the rusted iron color. Let's see, what else might you need to know? Oh, the bail in gingerbread, GB03947. That would be this piece. Okay, so that helps you out a lot with that. And you can find them easily on the site in the BC 1928 section. So anyway, thanks again for hanging in there with me today, and you have a wonderful creative weekend, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.